Peach, and in NTSC it's 6-4 Sheik.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like it's pretty even, but it can be frustrating for Peach for sure. And Swedish is already doing the exact thing that makes Sheik so good versus Peach. Auto-cancel forward air is such a strong tool. Because of the poor dash dance, Sheik has a really difficult time approaching just about like any character, but she is so good at controlling her own space. It's really, really difficult. And if you get right next to them and start getting those auto-cancel fares, it's impressive. The reverse forward air knocked him off, though. Really bad recovery. CAUP went for that aggressive edge guard. I mentioned this before when Swedish was on stream against that other person. You want to go for those aggressive edge guards because Sheik has about like 10 frames or so at the beginning of her up B where she's not invincible, and that's when you have to try to get her off the stage.
I actually played with Patrick once, and he told me about something you would always do. You'd always go for a drop zone fair just to catch his jump early. And he got so mad when I kept doing it after he told me about it. He was like, I hate this.
It's a good tool. Neutral air out of shield is really good. As a matter of fact, if you do a frame perfectly, neutral air out of shield is actually just as fast as a shield grab.
Really?
Yep, because you have your airborne frame 4, and neutral air comes out in 3 frames, so it's 7 frames.
If I didn't know you knew frame data.
Yeah, I've been known to know a little frame data now and again. It was all from action replay, but yeah, I know a little bit of frame data.
What a throwback. I bet you cheated in Pokemon.
Maybe. Nah, I didn't even play Pokemon on a console. I played Shoddy Battle. So, wow, that was a really, really good down tilt. I've noticed that one of the things that Sheiks have been doing in neutral, like lately, that's really, really good is using down tilt. It's like kind of like this like pseudo anti-air. It's almost like using like in Street Fighter, like crouching roundhouse to be able to like anti-air people trying to come down with an air attack. You have like such a low profile with Sheik, and then the down tilt has like a good like hitbox that you can actually use it as people are trying to come in and approach to you, and use that just like kind of like pop them up in the air and like free forward air at that point. Ooh, I like that. Jump, drop, turn up, and then back air really quick.
Yeah, Robert's been a fan of the Q dropping, which is Z dropping the turn up in the middle of a double jump land out of shield. Like you drop the shield, immediately double jump, and you Z drop in like the window you have while you're in the air still.
And then the double jump, because you dip down, puts you back on the ground.
He actually says most of the time he doesn't get it, so he does the pseudo one where you like auto cancel dare and still get the actionable frames out of it.
And again, Sheik is just using those forward airs so well. Looking him up, I feel like he should have down smashed at that point for sure. Even if he does crouch cancel, you set up an edge guard on the other side of the stage anyway. The full hop forward air, the ground smack, really good. And I'm not sure if CAUP meant to wait there a little bit, but so, you know, traditionally it's, you know, Peach just gets up down smashed for the edge guard, right? Good neutral air by CAUP to get him off stage. This has been pretty even. CAUP has been playing this pretty evenly. I like that, using down air on shield to get a little bit of extra shield pressure on Sheik. Ooh, nice get up attack. And CAUP is holding his shield out too long. I guess he was like trying to bait out, get like the turnip drop or whatever.
The turnip drop's not very good against Sheik, because if Sheik backs up any bit, you get grabbed for it.
Exactly.
It's normally good.
The hitbox is not good. Turnip drops like a tiny bit like behind Peach, and there's like no knockback. Like a lot of times you risk actually getting hit, even though you hit them with the turnip anyway.
It's normally good on characters with like really bad out of shield options, like Samus's up B. Like if you space just around up B, Samus can't really do anything about it. It works on Marth with Marth trying to approach. Back up and do it.
And back air up.
He keeps going for the back air read, but it hasn't worked yet, so I think he should stop because he's just taking extra damage for it.
Well, you're supposed to use back air a lot in neutral versus Peach. You gotta take those.
Well, I meant like specifically on the edge guard situations, he's going for it. Not really on stage. Every time like Swedish was off stage, he would always throw out the bear just in case Swedish ran into it.
Yeah.
But Swedish never ran into it, and at that point he started taking damage because Swedish would just throw out an aerial at him, and it would always catch him for it.
The idea is that in those neutral situations a lot, you're gonna like try to like go for trades, which is why you use back air so much. It's got like high priority. It can actually kind of compete with Sheik's toolkit. Every other one of Peach's moves doesn't like match up favorably with Sheik. Like you have your neutral air, which is obviously really, really fast, and like if Sheik is deciding to use anything other than neutral air, it's gonna it's going to have problems trying to beat that out. It's a used back air because of the hitbox, and they went back to Fountain. Actually, I like this. Probably FD was banned, and I definitely feel like this is the next best stage that you can pick versus Sheik. And that's always really difficult. So even I was talking about how good the edge guards are for Peach versus Sheik. Sheik actually has pretty good edge guards versus Peach as well. I feel like back air is so good, and it doesn't get enough love from Sheik mains because it is just, it's a good tool in neutral too. It hits high, so it's not really good like on stage because you'd have to like get so low with it. But when you're edge guarding, there's just so much hitbox out there for it, right? And Swedish using these platforms really, really well, doing the short out forward air, landing, drop through, forward air. Definitely understands how to use these platforms extremely well. And it's just been a storm of forward airs these past like almost 2 stocks now. About to kill Peach. And ooh, got scared of the crown, man. And the quick tilt into forward air. And that's really like the most difficult thing for Peach to deal with. Is just that any like stray hit can lead to forward air like that. Yeah,
oh,
and
he got caught.
That's what happens. You get trapped by those forward airs. You try to crouch cancel it, and then like Sheik is already like starting the next forward air at that point.
And you don't have enough time to shield drop before the fair catches you, so you have to hope and shield DI off the stage or off the
yeah,
platform.
The only thing that you can do versus that is you have to hard read it. Oh, got stage spiked, and all of a sudden it's evened up a little bit. When Sheik is doing those constant short hop forward airs, though, as a Peach, the only thing that you can do is if you know that they're going to do it, hard read and just full hop neutral air. Just call it out. But he stayed on the ground, and that was his mistake. Everything on the ground is pretty much going to get beaten out at that point.
I'm not sure what CAUP wants when he pulls the turnip sometimes, because when he pulled the turnip on the side platform, he just held it and paused for a second, because that wasn't a good position for him to be on with Sheik, because you can't down smash with the turnip in your hand, so Sheik had a lot of options to like grab or fair.
And speaking of turnips, we haven't really seen CAUP pull a lot of turnips at all.
He seems like he's only pulling them in situations to try and trick him. He's not like actually putting him into guaranteed situations or any mix-ups.
Yeah, and I feel like he has a lot of opportunity too. Swedish just keeps going for these forward airs. Like I don't feel like Swedish is actually trying to like run at CAUP. He should have more time to be able to pull turnips. The sweet spot back air sent him off pretty far. Was that a falling up air? I don't know about that. And that's it.
And that's it. 2-0 and a handshake.
Yep.